Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the final installment on the composite ARF CARF L39 aircraft. We're going to get this aircraft wrapped up in this final video, so stay tuned and we will dive back in to finishing this aircraft. All right guys, so in this video, basically we're focusing on wrapping everything up. So we're going to finish up with the cockpit. We are going to finalize battery locations. We're going to do our test runs on the engine, final programming, stuff like that. This video is going to be quite condensed and pretty straightforward and to the point because we did a build series on this aircraft previously. There's a whole build list on my YouTube page for a CARF L39. The old videos are sort of lower quality compared to today's standards, but we did it. So anyways, guys, let's dive back into wrapping up this aircraft. All right, so just putting the cockpit sides in here. Now, I would love to epoxy or glue these things in. The downside is that you need some adjustment. You need to be able to remove them. You know, once they're installed, you basically lose access to anything that's not right in the center of the cockpit area. So, like we have a receiver right there, we lose access to it. I mean, you can still kind of get to it, sort of, but really the Velcro is kind of the best way to do this. We are going to, once we get this set up on the owner's radio, we're going to pull this cockpit out and have to do some more to it. So we won't be doing any shoe gooping and stuff right now on any of the other connectors, but we do have our keepers installed on the jetty box, the 320 there. But anyways, just a little point of note for you. So we've got our seats installed in the cockpit. Now, what I did here was I installed them with some PL. Now you'll see the blue tape on the top side of the seats. That's to prevent the glue from coming through the seats. There's a kind of a grid pattern, like a checkerboard pattern in the bottom of the seats. So the glue or the blue tape is there just to seal that off. Once it's installed, we'll pull the blue tape off. But basically the seat previously was back a little bit further, so when I installed this in the previous aircraft, I actually ran the cockpit tub further back, and on this one I'm running it a little bit further forward so we can tuck the seat all the way back. We still have a cutout back there for the fuel line, and the blue balls are just compressing everything down right now and keeping everything in place. That all worked out really, really well. And just kind of did some rough measurements, but basically you're jamming the back seat back as far as you can and the front seat back as far as you can. There's like a little ridge there for it as well. So we have to let those pieces cure before we can do anything else inside the cockpit. And once they're cured, then we'll be able to start installing the consoles and all that type of stuff. Now this is the glue that we used, PL. Some of it's good for foam, some of it's not good for foam. The high density foam is less likely to get eaten by stuff, but works well, fairly straightforward to use, and I just used it because I had it, and that's actually what I used previously on the last L39, and it's nice and thick and easy to work with. All right, so we are working on the cockpit still, kind of just doing this step by step. So got the front portion of the cockpit glued in, used some E6000 on the front there, tipped the cockpit on its end, let it sit, installed a little piece of piano wire there, and the main purpose of that is just to provide support on the front here and kind of lift it up a little bit. Had to do some sanding on the sides of the fuselage, and that allows the rear instrument panel to drop in place. So that stuff's done. So now that we've got this stuff kind of laid out and we're all good, it's time to install the accessories. So we've got all of our instrument clusters to put on the side. We've got our control stick and center portions there to install. So that's all stuff that we will work on here next. So getting really close to being done, this girl. All right, so we've got the cockpit all installed as far as we can go. Now what we've done is our center consoles. These guys here, we've marked them out where they fit on the pan of the cockpit. The front one has to be sanded out on the back side so it fits over top of the Electron gear. If you butt it up to the gear, it's sitting way too close, so it's got to sit kind of further back here. And so what we need to do now is we need to take the tub out, and then we will get all of our other pieces installed. So we're going to get our center consoles installed, our control sticks, our seat bases and backs, our pilots, all that kind of stuff. We'll get that all taken care of and installed. All right, now it's nice to do all this stuff with magnets. I guess you could do the seats too, but I think just the consoles and the control sticks and things like that, magnets work great because you can remove this stuff and you don't have to worry about smashing it or breaking it, and it just pops right into its home. So pretty straightforward, just CA some magnets on the inside. These are the magnets I use for attaching canopies. And then we just put some magnets on the underside, use some CA there. These are rare earth magnets. We did the same thing on the rear center console. Now we also use magnets for the control sticks. Now these are a little bit smaller magnets than what we used in there. A main reason for the little bit smaller magnets is so they fit inside the control stick. So what I did was used an appropriate size drill bit to drill into that, and we'll just CA the magnet in the end there. It's pretty much a perfect fit, and then do the same thing. Just pop it on the underside, put a magnet on the underside, and the control stick will sit on the deck of the cockpit just perfect. All right, so we've got our engine reinstalled again, so that's all done, and that portion's ready to go. We have the cockpit basically all finished. Now what we need to do is we need to do a couple things. Fill the UAT, that's kind of a first step here, and then we are going to put a little bit of fuel inside the main tank, because we want to get this aircraft on our RCCG machine so we can see where the batteries are going to end up. Now, as I mentioned in previous videos, if you watch the first build of this, of the first L39 I did, I made this whole hatch wide open, so it would be openable, and you'd have access to the batteries here. Well, what ended up happening was we had, I think, 2 batteries here and then the other batteries here, because if they were all in the nose, it was far too nose heavy. So what we're going to do is we want to get this put on the CG machine so we can see where the batteries are going to end up. Now, the batteries may end up here, they may end up open there, right over there beside the nose gear. We'll see. We're not going to cut a hatch in this one. I don't think we're going to be using the battery tray that goes in the front. So we'll see how it all works out, but that's the whole point of doing this stuff, is to get our CG as accurate as possible before we do all of our battery connections. So right now our battery leads are just floating down here, and we will be mounting those somewhere once we know where the batteries are going to go. All right guys, so we got the L39 up on the RCCG machine, and we are going to check our nose weight. Now our cockpit is not installed. We're just going to place our canopy and stuff there. But basically, I just want to show you guys how easy this device is to use. It is absolutely awesome. So we've got the aircraft on the CG machine. Now it's pretty straightforward. I won't give you any close-ups here, but I'll just bring you in to show you what we're doing. So if you're familiar with the Zycoy CG machine, we have put it on here. We're gonna go to CG. We have to pick a new model. So this is gonna be the longest process. So I'll make a new model. Okay, so we've made a new model. CARF L39 is what we're calling this. So there's basically two measurements you need with your Zycoy machine. Number one is distance from mains to front nose. Well, when you get this already put on the machine, it's there for you. So we are at 1113. Easy. So everything is measured out, everything is self-centering and all that kind of stuff. All the rulers line up perfect. Next thing we do is we come to the leading edge device. We bring that back. Now the leading edge on this aircraft is right here. So we're just going to come back. And get it right on the joint, right there. So that step is done. Now, our CG point is 152 millimeters back from the leading edge. So we're going to go with our supplied ruler, 152 millimeters. We'll move our CG measuring right there, and we read the number on the ruler. So that number is 138 on the ruler. So our second number we enter, distance from mains to CG, is 138. So super easy to measure. The distance from CG to nose weight or whatever, we'll just keep at the default of 1200, and we will take a look at it. So there we go. Now we've got our numbers all dialed in and everything ready to work. So what that's telling me is we are 3.62 pounds tail heavy. We haven't had any batteries in the nose yet, but that gives us the numbers to play with. All right, guys, so a couple little updates for you from RCCG machine. Michael reached out to me after the initial testing video, and he just wanted to share with you guys some updates. So they're gonna have a booth at Florida Jets and also Kentucky Jets, so make sure you stop by and check this thing out in person. Units are also available in blue and silver, along with the red as well too. So you can get them in those three colors, perfectly American colors for a device that's 100% made in the USA. And the last coolest thing is for the remaining portion of the month of February 2023, there's an introductory price of $9.99 for these units. So I think that's probably posted on the website, but we will post the information down below, but there it is right there. I know lots of guys are blown away about the price of this thing. It is a huge time saver for me. I enjoy investing money in quality tools and quality equipment, and this thing is absolutely awesome. It makes taking the measurements way simpler. I actually enjoy using my Zycoy scales or the electronic scales now. So thanks, guys. And thank you to RCCG Machine. Thanks, Michael, for providing one of these for the lighter side of RC. Awesome tool. Love this thing. Oh, one final little note here. I'm just checking through all my notes. They will offer a Euro version as well too. Now this L39 is a big plane, no problem fitting on this, but if you have a massive like half scale Hawk or third scale Hawk or something like that, there is extensions available for the dimensions on this thing if you need them. Unless you have something massive, it won't be necessary, but just wanted to share with you guys that that stuff is available. All right, so just playing around with battery location, and it looks like, in fact, we will put the batteries in the nose of this aircraft, which is totally fine. But I just want to point out here, our weight. We are 49.37 pounds. That is with the UAT full and a landing amount of fuel in the tank. So I think, I haven't looked at the pictures or the videos, but I think we are about 4 to 5 pounds lighter on this build than the previous one, which is super cool. I could be slightly wrong. Maybe we were in at 52 pounds or something like that, but I remember it being like 54 pounds. So that's really exciting for this aircraft. Yeah, very, very cool. So now what we need to do on this aircraft is we need to work on our battery position. So it looks like I'm going to be putting that tray together, and we will put that tray in the nose. We're not going to do our nose hatch cutout. All that's accessible from this section right here. So we'll be able to just undo a screw, pull that whole tray out with the batteries and everything attached, keep it nice and simple, nice and light. All right, guys, and we are ready to run these turbines. Now, I have done a bunch of programming with the surfaces and flaps and all that kind of stuff, and we're good to go. Yeah, everything looks awesome. Everything's great. So, anyways, we're going to open up the shop door here, and we're going to fire this guy up and run it and see how she goes. All right, guys, did 2 more runs on the engine, just did some adjustments to some things, and it is great. That 240 in this aircraft is so nicely paired. It just has gobs and gobs of power. So on a 50-pound aircraft, it's really, really good. The last one of these that this owner had, we ended up with a King Tech 210 in it, I think. Yeah, that's what was in there. And it flew okay, but this thing it feels like it's got way more power. So it's gonna be tons of fun. The other cool thing that I'm impressed with is on the Jetty Central box, you can see how many amps everything is pulling right up top there. So when I turn the lights on, I'm gonna turn them on right now. You can see that the lights going through the central box basically pulls about 1.5 amps, which is great for the entire setup. That's great. So really happy with how that all worked out. Just peachy. And I love this feature. We're just gonna turn our model off from all the way over here, and the model is off. Well, guys, that is everything for the CARF Skygate L39. Absolutely really cool to be putting one of these aircraft together again. As I talked about in this condensed build series, this really brings the channel and what I do in the shop and building stuff for other people, this really brings it full circle. This was the very first aircraft that we built on this channel, and this is what started everything, and it's for this exact same owner. So thank you, Stacy, for allowing me to build another one of these for you. Congratulations. She's an absolute beauty, and really looking forward to getting this thing up in the air this year. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you list them down below. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. If you're watching this, check down below right now and see if the subscribe button is lit up for you, or if it says subscribed. If it doesn't, please hit that subscribe button down below. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see ya in the next video.